From the USA to Europe and into the Caribbean, all the world over, this is Caribbean Gospel Radio FM, keeping you inspired and informed.
This is the year of my breakthrough. This is the year of release. My seasons of dryness is almost over. Now is the time of increase. Hey, this is Stephen Peninsulin, and you're listening to Caribbean Gospel Radio FM with Dr. Monica. The Diago bless. Watch it.
Are you looking for delicious meals cooked to perfection from authentic Jamaican spices? At Taste of Eden Jamaican Restaurant, your taste buds will love the delectable, mouth-watering oxtails, curry goat, curry chicken, steamed fish, jerk chicken, and vegetable meals, freshly cooked and served by the loving, warm, and attentive chef and staff. Centrally located in Codman Square, 38 Norfolk Street, Dorchester Center, Massachusetts, you can get to Taste of Eden Jamaican Restaurant for your breakfast, lunch, dinner meals, and vegan dishes. Taste of Eden Jamaican Restaurant is open Mondays through Thursdays, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m., and Fridays and Sundays, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., closed on Saturdays. We cater and deliver by Uber Eats, Grubhub, and DoorDash. Call 617-282-0077 or order online at www.tasteofedenjamaican.net.
I say hallelujah. You have to tune in to this station with Dr. Monica. Because when she's done chasing the devil, not even the devil himself can contain himself. You are missing something if you do not tune in to Dr. Monica. Hallelujah. Satan, you get a knockout.
Love in the morning and love in the evening. Love the whole day through. The greatest of all is to love and be loved. We're so blessed to be loved by you. So blessed to be loved by you.
Father, we praise you. In the name of Jesus, we give you glory. You who sits in the heavens and rule in the affairs of men. Your eyes go to and fro the earth, beholding evil and good. We give you thanks for this day, Jesus. Today I thank God for his goodness and that his mercy endureth forever. Let the redeemed of the Lord say so. He whom hath redeemed us from the curse of the law and from the end of the enemy. Today upon the authority and the shed blood of Jesus Christ and the word of God which is settled in heaven, which is his throne, I decree and declare every weapon fashioned against us can never prosper. I decree and declare that I shall not fear though an awesome camp against me. My confidence is in God alone. I decree and declare that every plans of the enemy against my life has been aborted in the name of Jesus. That the enemy of my soul is defeated and confused. Now we send back distress, depression, oppression, sickness, diseases, poverty, lack, suicide, envy, jealousy, malice, and strife, and every diabolical assignment of the enemy. We send them back to the enemy in the name of Jesus. We decree and declare that the God of war, Jehovah Sabaoth, the Almighty God, everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace, will rise upon our behalf and take full control of his people. Father, in the name of Jesus, we ask this day, we petition your throne. Go into your arsenal and pull out your weapons of mass destruction. Divide and plunder, destroy the enemy. Leave no way of escape for them. And those who despise the counsel of the Most High God, shut down their towers, expose their hiding places, reveal their strategies to your people. Creep upon them suddenly, O God, with your right hand of righteousness, and free the soul from their torment. Like a mighty army, we join together, oh God, and in the name of Jesus, we rejoice in you. We exalt and extol you, who uses the cloud as your chariot. We praise you, God, because thou art the Lord, the most high above all the earth. We now thank you, Father, for your goodness and your mercy. Endure it forever. Be thou exalted. Be thou exalted. Be thou magnified, Jesus. Take joy, my King, as we praise you. As the army of the earth, we praise you, Jesus. As citizens of your kingdom, we exalt you because the victory is ours and the glory belongs to you. Ride on, King Jesus. Ride on. We thank you. Victory is ours.
How you doing, everybody? I hope you're feeling fine. We're gonna lift up the name of Jesus Christ. Sing Jesus, sing Jesus. I love the name Jesus. Yeah. The society want me to stay as in the way, but I shall hold the faith, man, not stray. The kingdom boxes conform to their ideas, but I only wish to follow you. Cause when they see me, they should know that I'm an ambassador for you. Now, no time for follow the crowd. If you agree, I wanna hear you now. Let me sing Jesus. You're the center of my life. Let me sing Jesus. Gave my peace and took away all my strife. Jesus, filled my heart with joy. Jesus, oh, every day I love you more. La 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 la. Sometimes the people around me ostracize me from my faith. They ask, how can I believe in something I can't see it? Can't see the wind, but you know that it is there. Well, that is how I know that Jesus is near. There's nothing you can say that will ever make me doubt him. He has brought me through so many storms, so I just sing his praise forevermore. Oh, Jesus, you're the center of my life. And may you sing Jesus. Gave my peace and took away all my strife. Jesus, filled my heart with joy. Jesus, oh, every day I love you more. You've been so good to me, and I thank you. I thank you. So I shall forever live for you. Whoa.
A blessed, pleasant evening to you. It is Monday, a beautiful day in my neck of the woods. How about yours? I want to welcome you on board this evening. Of course, you know, it is time to hear what's going on in the world of immigration. Good evening again to you. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are coming in from. I'm Dr. Monica sitting in with you. I want to welcome those who are listening to us using the various apps on the iPhone, Blackberries, Android apps, guys. Good evening to those who are with me on YouTube and Facebook, TuneIn Radio, Nobex Radio, Radio Garden. Good evening to you, Online Radio Box. And those who are with me right here, www.CaribbeanGospelRadioFM.com. Good evening to you guys. I'm Dr. Monica sitting in with you inside of this beautiful, beautiful day in my neck of the woods. Started out a bit chilly, but I tell you, as the day went by, it warmed up pretty well. Broadcasting to you live from the Big ATL, Atlanta, Georgia, right here in the United States of America. We are indeed Caribbean Gospel Radio FM, where you get the very best in Caribbean gospel music. We keep it popping 24 hours of the day. So don't you forget, it's not only when I'm on, guys, alright? Keep it locked, www.caribbeangospelradiofm on the .com side. I want to welcome those who are with us, wherever you're coming in from. Pam Nelson, I see you in YouTube. Good evening to you. Speedway, Chaz, Venura, and Brian coming in from Queensland in Australia. Happy Tuesday to you guys, alright? Want to pop on over on Facebook and say good evening to Melrose Island. Good evening, Mel. Precious Watt, it's been a long time indeed. Good evening to you. How are you, Diane Jones Vassal? Good evening, Diane. We're going to be talking all things immigration this evening with attorney Georgia Lawrence from the Georgia Law Firm. The Georgia Lawrence Law Firm, rather. And she'll be joining us momentarily. Just hanging there, all right? Princess Rose, good evening to you. See you joining in. Good evening, Princess. Thank you so much. Call your friends, your family. Let them know we're going to be talking all things immigration this evening. And they can't afford to miss this program. Pretty informative. The quality of information that you get on this program, you get it nowhere else. She'll be joining us momentarily, so make sure that you come on up where you can hear what's taking place. She's got some new things she want to fill us in on as far as immigration is concerned. Got a family, a friend who should be concerned about this? Then you need to hit them up right now. As a matter of fact, send them the link. Send them that Facebook link. Send them that YouTube link. Or better yet, send them our address. You can find us at www.caribbeangospelradiofm.com. Good day, Speedway. Sound of Flavia Bradshaw Beswick, Sancta of My Life. That's the name of the track this evening. Gonna hop on over to the Grace Thrillers. I Will Be Still until she joins me. Coming up momentarily, our immigration program, The Law and You. This is Caribbean Gospel Radio FM.com, Atlanta, Georgia. Those who are traveling home with me, like Carlene, my good friend Carlene Blackwood Foster. Good evening to you. Those of you who are chillaxing at the steering wheel right now, making it home from a hard day of work. I hope to take you home safely this evening, all right? Let me kick it back from the top just for you. Indeed, he is king over the floods. And I will bestow sound of the grace thrillers out of Jamaica. I want to send a good evening blessing to my pastor, Pastor Leah Philippe. Good evening to you, Pastor. Also want to send lots of love out to my Alive Christian family. Alive Christian Center family, indeed. Good evening to you. Marcia Robinson, good evening. Stay blessed too, girl. Thank you so much. Pam Nelson. Oh, you ordered your book? Thank you so much, Pam. This is the book she's talking about, guys. This is my second book that I wrote. Yes, and she ordered it. This is what we're doing on Tuesday evenings right now. We're studying this book, The Pharaohs, the Gods, and the Plagues of Egypt. And, of course, you can get your copy on Amazon. Or you can go to www.caribbeangospelradiofm.com and I'll get you an autographed copy. All right? So thank you, Pam, for purchasing your book. Good evening to you, Nicole Williams. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Just waiting on Attorney to join us. Of course, not our fault. It was mine, all right? Attorney, if you're listening in right now, we're ready for you, all right? Check your WhatsApp. I want to send a shout out to my friend, Will Williamson. I'm telling you, he's the insurance guru. Good evening, Will. Good evening, Reverend Will Chapman. Will. Oh, Lord, he wears so many hats. Good evening, my friend. Colin Speeter, good evening to you. Been a long time, he says. Good evening, Colin Speeter. Thank you so much for checking in on me today, all right? So Will says, blessings and peace, prayers. How are you? I'm doing well, all right? I'm doing well. In a couple more months, we have our Chaplains, Global Chaplains Day coming up in February, all right? So we can start planning soon, all right? My VP. I want to send a shout out to Dolly Graham coming in from Newark, New Jersey. Good evening to you, Dolly. Welcome, welcome on board. Vinette Kanan, good evening to you. Thank you so much. Pat Serena Johnson coming in from Innswood Village out of Spanish Town, St. Catherine, Jamaica. Good evening to you, Patsy. Thank you for being here with us this evening. Baba, good evening to you. Welcome, welcome. All right, Attorney Georgia Lawrence. Good evening to you. She's welcoming everyone to this segment of the program. Of course, you can visit GeorgiaLawrence.com. And on Facebook, she goes as Georgia Lawrence LLC. And on Instagram, you can find her as well, Attorney Georgia Lawrence. I see her. Just know that you can always send her an email at georgialaw21@gmail.com too, all right? I want to welcome Evangelist Precious Watts. Good evening to you, Evangelist Precious. We're going to be linking with Attorney momentarily. All right, just hang in there with me, guys. Marcia Dawson, come on in, girl. Good evening to you.
Wash me, Jesus. Let it be
you're perfect. 'Cause there's no other way. There is no other way that we can live. We need a word.
My God, you really changed somebody like me? I can't believe it myself. Amazing grace, how sweet a sound. Saved a wretch like me one day. I once was lost, but now I'm found. I was blind, but now I see. Amazing grace, how sweet a sound. Saved a wretch like me one day. I once was lost, but now I'm found. I was blind, but now I see. You see, it started many years ago. I met Jesus when I was so low. He planted a seed and then it started to grow. And now I'm free and he lives in me. He put some fire down in my soul. Push out the devil, then he made me whole. Because of trials, I was oh so cold. And now I'm hot, full of love and bold. Amazing grace, how sweet a sound. Saved a wretch like me one day. I once was lost, but now I'm found. I was blind, but now I see. Amazing grace, how sweet a sound. Saved a wretch like me one day. I once was lost, but now I'm found. I was blind, but now I see. Let me tell you, my friend, I've got something that money can't buy, and I've got Jesus, and He's right by my side. I wanna tell you now about this sweet Savior of mine. He is everything that I need. My source and the
I want to take the time out again to welcome each and everyone to the program this evening. It's called The Law and You. It's our immigration program. We discuss immigration matters as it concerns those of us who are immigrants. I want to welcome each and everyone. Marcia Dawson, you're on. Thank you so much. Those that are on Facebook, you see Attorney made a post over there. I'm going to capture that as well and put it here on YouTube for the folks here so that you can see and can be a part of it as well. All right. I think we're ready to roll.
Saved a wretch like me one day. I once
So let me just go ahead and get her on. All right.
was blind, but now I see. Amazing grace, how sweet a sound. Saved a wretch like me one day. Chosen by you, 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 chosen by you. See, I'm a blessing and I know I'm not a curse. Been through the valley and I've been through the worst. And now I'm shining like the sun, I wanna burst. You fill my cup, Lord, and now you fill my thirst. You make my enemy, them all be reversed. Who want this in me?
All right. I think I got her on. Attorney, can you hear me?
I can. How are you?
We haven't done this in a long time. I see you bopping back there. Didn't know you could dance like that, huh? All right. Okay, so here we are. It's been a long time. I think it's since June.
Yes, it's been too long.
It's been too long, and there are folks here who are welcoming you back this evening. I'm going to make way for you to do what you got to do. But let me go ahead and introduce you to those who are probably new. Attorney Georgia Lawrence. I'd normally play the ad and stuff like that, but so much time has already expired. But she is from the island of Jamaica. She's from Kendal, Manchester, and I'm from Kendal, Hanover. I like to say that. And she came here. If you hear her story, I think it was with 2 suitcases, right? Something, right. And she started in Florida. Long story short, now she is an attorney here in the state of Georgia. However, being an immigration attorney, she can represent you in any of the 50 states of the United States of America because it is a federal matter. Immigration is a federal matter. All right. And I like how she played with her name in the way she named her company. Her name's Georgia Lawrence. She resides in the state of Georgia. And she's doing law. I like that. That was pretty brilliant, attorney. Of course. So you find her at Georgia Law. I'm sorry. Let me get that right for the folks who are there. GeorgiaLawrence.com. All right. You need to check out her website. She's given away so many answers that you normally have to pay other attorneys to get. So GeorgiaLawrence.com. That's where you find her. Or if you're on Facebook, she's Georgia Lawrence LLC. If you're an IG person, Instagram, she's Attorney Georgia Lawrence, all right? And if you have questions that you'd like to ask her, you can go ahead and email her at GeorgiaLaw21. That's GeorgiaLaw21 at gmail.com. All right, Attorney, welcome back. What do you have for us today?
So much, but I'm going to try to crunch it all in one. Yeah, it's been too long. Can't do this again.
Yes, it's been a while. It's been a while. And then I'm hearing some stuff in the ear, and I want some clarity where that is concerned. Immigration stuff and President Biden and vaccination and all of that stuff.
There's a lot going on. So for the program this evening, I kind of crunched it all into 4 different topics, so we should be able to cover everything.
It's all yours. Go ahead.
So the first thing I want to talk about is TPS. I know we spoke about it on the show before. There has been some changes. So temporary protected status, we'll talk about that. A lot of people have been sending me questions about pathway to citizenship, what Biden has in store, what's going on, what they're hearing, what they can prepare, So yes, we're going to address that this evening. And then COVID-19 under the new immigration policy. I've been getting a lot of questions on that. Then I know you've been seeing things about Afghanistan and Haiti in the news. So we're going to talk about that and briefly touch on asylum this evening, and that should be it for us. As always, if you have questions, go ahead, comment on the Facebook link or on the YouTube link, or if you want, you can send me an email. I'll try to address your question and see where we go from there. So the first thing is TPS, temporary protected status. So the last time we spoke, we had discussed some countries that were designated countries for temporary protected status, meaning that if people from those countries were here in the United States at a certain point, they could say they would get authorization to work, and they would not have to be in fear of being deported back to their home country.
Attorney, I'm getting some feedback on YouTube saying that your sound is not clear.
On my sound, okay.
They're saying the sound is not clear. Are you talking like you would normally talk back then?
I'm in a different office space. But let me see.
All right, let's see what we can work out there. Trying to make it work for you guys.
All right, let me do this. Let me switch computers and see if that will
All
make
right.
it. Give me 1 second.
We'll be here.
Okay.
Oh, folks are saying they're actually not hearing you. Wow.
Oh, they're not hearing me.
They're
and
not
it's the
hearing
same
you.
thing on Facebook?
Facebook say they're not hearing you. YouTube says that they're not hearing you either.
Okay.
Wow. And they're hearing me, so that means it wouldn't be from my end. I don't think so.
All right, let me
Let me see. Let me try something on my end to make sure that I got you. All right, somebody else say that they're hearing you. So those who are not hearing, they probably need to fix their stuff. All right, attorney, don't mess with anything back there because folks say that they're hearing you. All right, so those that are not hearing it, probably something on their end. Can you hear me, attorney?
Yeah, I'm hearing you perfectly
All right, YouTube. I got folks on YouTube that say that they're hearing you. Facebook guys, can you hear Attorney when she speaks? And Will Williamson is sending a shout out to you, Attorney.
Can you hear me?
All right, they're saying that they're hearing you, but it's low, so we need to turn
All
the
right,
volume
let
up.
me, yeah, let me
Can you pump it up back where you are, like make it real loud back there?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm gonna switch computer.
Roz Phillips says she's hearing you, so we're good. Alexandra Taylor, good evening, coming in from Canada. Listening to the sound of Sister Sasha as we get the kinks worked out this evening. All right? We'll soon start rolling, all right? If you have a problem, immigration case or anything like that, you better listening to the program this evening, all right? If you got anybody that's an immigrant as well, yeah, you need to check them out too. Tell them to check it out. I want to welcome Paula T. Sweeney coming in from London. Good night to you, girl. She says she's hearing, but there's a frying sound. All right, so let me turn on the fire so you won't hear any frying, all right? All right, Roz says it's loud enough already, so I don't know what's going on. One person says it's low, one says it's loud, and another one says they're not hearing, and another says there's a frying sound. So we don't know what's going on. Chosen by you. Sing, Sasha. All right, indeed. I am chosen. I don't know about you, but yes, I am. She's coming back. We're going to roll so this evening.
Are you hearing me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you. You ready?
Oh, Lord.
I'm hearing you, girl. I'm hearing you. Just let me know when you're ready. It is a Monday evening mix. Waiting on fixing the kinks so you can get your immigration program. Yeah. Hey. Hey. We fixing it, guys.
Are you hearing me?
Yeah, we're hearing you. You ready, Attorney?
Yes.
Wait a minute.
I don't know what the problem was. I was connected to Facebook as well, so maybe the two different sounds.
Yeah. All right, hold on. Let me get you back on camera because I can't find you on the camera. Hang on.
Okay. Remember this one. Yes, sir.
I don't have a video for you, Attorney. Where did your video go?
Oh, Lord. What is going on? All right, let me stop here.
I need to find you back.
I'm using a different Zoom, so
Uh-oh.
I'm on a different computer.
So, all right. So, we're going to have to go without your pretty picture this evening? What you want to do?
I mean, you can, but I'm seeing myself.
You are? All right.
Yeah.
Hang on there. Hang on. Hold on there. Just not getting you back again. I don't know. Oh, Lord.
All right, let's try this one more time. 'Cause now you can hear me, but not you.
Yes, I'm hearing you. I need to be able to see you.
All right, let me try one. Let me try to find you one more time.
All right. Want to send a shout out to Carlene Ellis. Good evening, Carlene.
Okay, I'm back.
All right. Wow.
Still can't see me or hear me.
No, still not getting you back on my. Wow. I'm hearing you. We're hearing you well. All right. I'm going to let you go ahead and talk to the folks until I can fix it back here. Is that all right?
Yeah, that's
All right.
fine. Okay, I'll just
Go right ahead. Yes. All right, guys, we're back with attorney Georgia Lawrence. We're having some technical difficulties. I don't know why I let her mess with that stuff. But anyways, we're going to have her talking to us, and then I'll try and see if we can get the video to come back up for you. All right? Are you ready, attorney?
Okay, yeah, I have people texting me, where are you to? I don't know what's going on, but all right. So for TPS, the last time we talked about TPS, we were discussing the countries that were eligible and different requirements. So now the Department of Homeland Security has announced automatic extension for El Salvador, Haiti, Honduras, Nepal, Nicaragua, and Sudan. So these 6 countries will retain their status once they meet the individual requirements. And there's an automatic extension of TPS related documents, including employment authorization cards. And this is all the way through to December 31st, 2020. So if you're from those 6 countries, or you know someone from those 6 countries, yes, the employment authorization card will be valid until 2022. And what else about TPS now? A beneficiary from any of those countries who has applied for a new employment authorization, but hasn't yet received their employment authorization card, they will be covered with the last extension. And a lot of time people kind of mix up this portion of it. So if you give me a call or you send me an email, I'll be happy to answer any question that you have on that portion of it. And see, this was the news that a lot of people in Haiti got, why they ended up under the bridge the other day, which we're going to discuss later on. So a TPS beneficiary whose application was withdrawn or denied is not eligible for the automatic extension. So that's also something where people are out there spreading false news. So if you had put it in and it was withdrawn or denied, you're not eligible for the automatic extension. This applies to cases that have been approved last through December 31st, 2022. So that's the latest news we have on TPS. So you have a lot of Haitians who've been trying to use this, and it's working out very needed at this point in time. And then we have the issue of pathway to citizenship. A lot of people been asking me questions about this. And unfortunately, you have some scammers out here who are taking people's money and telling them that Biden is putting technically amnesty in place. They're going to get employment authorization and the different things that they're qualified for. Let me just say this, it is not true. Right now, there is nothing set in stone. So you shouldn't be paying anybody any money to do anything for you if you're an illegal foreign national and your path may be the pathway to citizenship, because you may not have any other option right now. So basically, the pathway to citizenship, we discussed this before, would be for millions of immigrants. And technically, the other day, it was in the hand of a key Senate staffer who was expected to decide whether or not the immigration reform policy would be included in the Democratic $3.5 trillion social spending package. This didn't happen. So the Democrats had hoped to enact a pathway to citizenship for dreamers, or, the participants in the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrival programs. I hear about DACA recipients who were brought to the U.S. illegally as children. So the citizenship pathway would be offered to DACA recipients, TPS holders, farm workers, and essential workers. We spoke about TPS eligibility, farm workers, and essential workers. You could reach out to me off here and we can talk about it some more. They were looking at over 8 million people in the country would benefit from the proposal. Unfortunately, we learned this was shut down. They had until September 15 to come with an answer. It was shut down. So no, the Democrats are looking to what they call Plan B or Plan C. But right now, there is nothing set in stone. And to be honest, I hate laboring the point because there's nothing set in stone. And I feel like the more people talk about it and raise people hopes, people are getting disappointed and people are circulating false news. So I don't want it to be said that Attorney Lawrence said this. Right now, there is nothing set in stone. So I'm just letting you know what is going on as it relates to the pathway to citizenship. We're still in the position. We're waiting. A lot of people like myself, frankly, we're upset because something needs to be in place, and I feel as if they're playing political football with this thing when people's life are at stake. So they need to decide on something. And what I'm hearing, though, is that it may extend or it may include other provisions. For instance, them changing it to say that if, say, for instance, you've been in the country since 2007, you may be able to apply for some sort of status. But again, there's nothing set in stone, so we don't know what they're going to do. So right now, it's just that all the hype and what Biden proposed, it was just shut down. So we're just waiting. Sad, but there's still hope. So I always tell people, still do the same thing where you gather your documents, you try to stay low key, don't get yourself involved in any criminal activities, including traffic tickets, especially, I know some people, you're not even supposed to have a license, you don't have a license. So don't get yourself involved in certain stuff, because later on it may come back and bite you. You'll have to report certain things. Don't get caught up in the system where you may end up having to pay out child support or anything like that. You're working, you're not paying taxes. Just try to be as clean as possible, because your history will matter if you're going to be eligible to apply for any sort of benefits if they do put something in place.
Wow, that's as plain as it can get. Try to stay as clean as possible. Wow. All right.
So that's it for the news on pathway to citizenship. Like I said, some people are very disappointed. I mean, we're in November. The new administration came in January. Within the first 100 days, technically, we were promised there would be a change. It turned political. This side saying they're not going to approve that. You have one side saying they're going to approve that, then the members from that same party saying no, we're not a part of it. So with the split now, it's just really a case where it's not doing anything for us. And frankly, right now, we're looking at a potential government shutdown because of all these issues.
It's always politics. It's always politics.
Always,
We get all these promises, and I mean, I don't get too happy about it. I don't need any of that benefit right now because of where I am being a citizen. But there are other, my loved ones, other people that are here that need it. But whenever they say these things, I really don't get too happy because I know no one person can do this.
Yeah. And see, that's what a lot of people don't understand. So they may listen to one person. Oh, this is what we're proposing. And you remember that show we had where basically I explained it to them like, you can have a proposal, but you have to go through a series of steps. Yes. Before it becomes anything set in stone. Yes. So don't get too hype right now. Just wait and see and pray. Right. Wait and see and pray and just try to stay low key. Right. So right now that's where it's at. But yeah, you have a lot of people pushing for certain things. Like I always tell people, write congressmen, write senators, reach out, become engage in community activities. Like something may not be affecting you, but it could affect your loved one. I mean, like right now, you and I are not in a position where for ourselves or maybe our household, we have to worry about certain things, but we have family members. We have people, I have clients every day. And to be honest, sometimes it really gets to my head, seeing how people are treated because they're in a certain position. Yes. People don't have their papers and just how people treat them, look down on them like they're nothing. You have some people coming from, they call what we third world countries, they're educated, have high skill set, they're not able to work, and they're subjected to certain abuse and certain behaviors from other people. And it is just a sad reality. So it's time to put something in place. And I'm not somebody who's advocating for any sort of illegal activity. Like I try to be very objective. I try to be very objective and look at it from a lens like what makes sense and not just out of feelings, even though I do have a heart for foreign nationals. And even with my profession, I look at it for both passion and purpose. Like, even though I feel the way I do, I still try to advocate for what is right. And right now, I think we're dealing with humans.
That's right.
So it's a case where it's not for you to be playing football with this kind of issue. Something needs to be done. It needs to be done.
That's right. I totally agree with that. All right. Did you finish this point?
Yes, yes.
All right. Could you check your WhatsApp? I'm going to play a song because I'd really like for the folks to see your face. Tamara Jackson, good evening to you. And she's agreeing with you, attorney. She says, that's true, what you just said. People coming in from what is called, quote unquote, third world, they're highly, highly educated, and they come to this country and they just have to do some things that are really, I don't even want to say beneath them, but less than their education and stuff like that. And sometimes people who are not even half as educated as them just talk to them certain ways, you know. And these same people, when they go to our islands in our country, they still get treated like they're gods, you know. But they get treated well here, they get treated well in our countries, but when we come here, we are just at the bottom of the totem pole. So I do understand, and Tamara, I agree as well. Ellis Clark coming in from Tobago, sending blessings our way. So, all right, we're going to be joining with attorney momentarily. Just listen to the song, all right? I'll be right back. All right. There's only one song at a time, all right? I only want you to hear one song at a time. So here it is. It's Brochelle Anola featuring Son AG.
When the darkness falls, it won't prevail. away. If you know when me a top, but let me see them right away. This a God when we serve, never feel none. This is our fight, my battle. Do it. This is our fight, my battle. Hey, hey. This is our fight, my battle. Watch this. This is our fight, my battle. How we do it? I'm gonna see a victory. Say it again. I'm gonna see a victory. For the battle belongs to you, Lord. Watch this. I'm gonna see a victory. Say it again. I'm gonna see a victory. For the battle belongs to you, Lord. Watch this. This is our fight, my battle. So we fight everybody. This is our fight, my battle. When we pray for winning. This is our fight, my battle. When we call for the king. This is our fight, my battle. All right. This is our
Yes, indeed, we got our back on camera right here. Okay, so attorney, you are here. This is how I fight my battles in. God takes care of it all. Yes, so we're good to go again. So here we go, attorney. All over to you right now.
All right, can you hear me?
I can hear you pretty well,
Perfect.
loud and clear.
And everyone can hear me.
Well, I think so. I haven't heard anything from anybody negative yet. So you should be good. So you can pick up. Uh-huh.
All right. So, yes, to the big thing, a lot of people have been asking me about COVID vaccine and immigration. So, yes, it is true. And you're going to see me looking both ways. I'm using two computer screens.
Oh, okay.
So, the new policy in place rolling out October 1st, which is what?
Right, Thursday?
Yep,
I think it's Thursday coming.
Friday.
Oh, Friday. Okay, Friday.
So, immigrants in the U.S., they can hear me, right?
Yes, Alice Clark said he's hearing. Sister Daisy in New York says yes, loud and clear. And she says, good evening,
Perfect.
beautiful queen.
I'm hearing that sound, but it's fine. Once they're hearing me, I'm good. And I can hear you. So we're good.
Yes, good.
So immigrants in the U.S. applying for permanent residence, they must show proof that they've been vaccinated against COVID-19. And this is just like a flu shot. Yes, it's true. So, and this is news that I got from CDC.
Wow.
So the CDC now classifies COVID-19 as a Class A inadmissible condition, and failure to vaccinate against this preventable disease would render a person ineligible for a visa. So if you're married to somebody, say in Jamaica, you're applying for them and they're going to come in, go to the interview, they have to do the medicals, then yes, they're going to have to take the COVID vaccine, the COVID-19 vaccine. They didn't specify which one, you have Pfizer, Moderna, so I'm assuming it's once you're vaccinated. Now, you do have certain waivers in place. I've never worked on one of the waivers, but I've been doing my readings, and you do have certain waivers in place. For instance, if it's a child that's under the age where they're not offering the vaccine, that child, they won't find that child ineligible based on that basis. If it's a case where you're from a country that doesn't have it, exceptions may be in place for it. A lot of people are also asking about religious exemption.
Mm-hmm.
I am thinking about a 95% chance, I'm not sure, that will be in place because it's still something new. So we're still navigating the water to figure out how all this is going to work out. But for now, you're in the U.S., you're applying for legal permanent residence, you're coming in, yes, you're required to get a vaccination. And then other Class A conditions that would render you inadmissible would be like tuberculosis, syphilis, and so forth. So it's categorized as the same thing, Class A inadmissible communicable disease. And you have to show proof of vaccination. So this probably they're going to change the medical and add that, you have those check box where you got this vaccine, that vaccine, you have the doctor sign off. So most likely they're going to put the COVID vaccination for it. And people also ask me, what if I have my negative result? No, that won't work. A negative screening at the time of the medical evaluation does not guarantee that you won't have COVID at the time you become a lawful permanent resident. So technically, it would make no sense for you to show that you're negative because you could be negative today and tomorrow you're positive. So they're trying to put preventative measures in place. Now, a lot of people have problems with this. Like, I have a brother, he has a problem with it. I tell people I believe it's a personal decision whether or not you want to take it.
Right.
I just say try to be informed. Like, do your research, know what you're getting into. And if you want to take it, take it. If you don't want to take it, don't take it. I'm not advising anyone either way. That's a personal call. But just know, if you're going to be a part of the immigration process in any way, you may be required to take it, especially if you're trying to become a lawful permanent resident in the U.S., unless an exception applies to you, and this will be after October 1st. So we have 4 days, and then this is blanket across the board. So that's something that we're going to have to deal with.
That's so funny.
Go ahead.
That's so funny because, I mean, like, funny, not funny, hey.
Yeah.
Like, because just as you mentioned, we can be negative today for COVID, take that test, and tomorrow, within hours, we become positive. And it's the same thing. You got people who take a test, who get a vaccination today, or a shot, as I like to call it. They get a shot today, and tomorrow they come down with COVID. I've known of people who got the vaccination, and they die after getting COVID. I got a coworker who, she got the vaccine, and what do you know? Her entire house came down with it so bad. Her breathing issue was so sick out of work. You understand? So, and I've known people who don't take the vaccine, and they got over their hurdle, and I know people who took the vaccine, and they're dead. You know, so it's good boy. I wish we could get a chance, really, to determine what goes into our bodies, so.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
I think you do, because we all have a right to that. So it's not a case where anyone is going to put a gun to your head, hopefully, and say, take it or you're going to die. That's not the case here. But
you're not going to get to come to America without it.
So the other day I was in New York, and basically, if you don't have your vaccination card, especially, I was in Manhattan, especially if you go in certain areas, you cannot get in anywhere. You can't get in the restaurants, you can't get in a bar. Like, even if you're at a hotel and you're trying to use the restaurant at a hotel, you may have to use a separate entrance just so they can check your vaccination card. Because I think Georgia probably, they probably have vaccination cards now when you take it. I don't know, or some sort of document that they give you. But I know in New York, what they have is like something on your phone where you can scan it and your card pops up. And I went to this restaurant, my friend, and he had his card, and he just showed him the phone. I didn't have it. And the first thing they asked is like, may I see your identification and proof of vaccination? And this was like 5-6 restaurants.
Wow.
So, like, if you don't have it, just make up your mind, especially if you're staying at a hotel, you're going to grab food, go back to your hotel room. There's nowhere really that you can go. You have places with signs on the door. It's not about showing a negative result. It's about getting the vaccine.
Getting the shot.
And those are private establishments, so they're within their right to ask you for that. Now, in terms of like federal government properties and what they're doing, that's debatable. But if you remember, coming into the country, it's not a right. It's a privilege.
Yes, it is.
It's a privilege. And I always tell people, until you become a citizen, a lot of what you get, include even your employment authorization, it is a privilege. It can be given and it can be taken. So I think it's the same thing with you getting the benefits of coming in the country. So that's most likely going to be the argument. But I believe the waivers are going to be in place, and people will be able to apply for different waivers. How it will work, I don't know. I have not done any of those waivers as yet, but people have been asking. I have some cases now where they're trying to get them out before the October 1st deadline.
That's just a few days away.
Yeah, I don't know how it's going to work, but...
I I was listening to the news last night, and which sector is it? I think it's the health sector. That I think they were trying to get it state, anyways. That they gave them a deadline in New York, saying if they were not all vaccinated by, I think it was today was supposed to be the deadline. If they were not vaccinated, then they could not keep their job, and so they were actually calling.
wow.
Yeah, I heard on the news like last night. They were actually calling out the National Guard to go into the hospitals to replace these people who are leaving because they're not taking the vaccine. And I'm like, that's a grave situation, because going to the hospital now in New York is no joke, because you don't
Yeah.
know what kind of quack you're getting from the National Guard.
Yeah.
I'm saying, how do we allow? Well, anyways, that's not what you're here for this evening. Right on.
No, but yeah, because people come to me with it. I said the only advice I have is like, do your research, stay informed. It's a personal choice. Take it if you want to take it. Don't take it if you don't want to take it. I don't have any advice to give on it.
I don't.
That's
blame
not my area of expertise. I know what my household and I are doing. So
Thank you. My name is Dr. Monica, but I'm not a medical doctor. I'm a medical doctor. I'm a
All right.
medical doctor. All right, wait a minute. Let me take a couple. Let me remind you, folks, if you have any questions for attorney Lawrence this evening, you can type it in on Facebook, type it in on YouTube, and whatever she can answer this evening, maybe due to time constraint or information release, she will reach back out to you. Gerline Samuels out of New York says, what about someone who has psoriasis, which is a skin condition, and is on a trial drug? That person is a green card holder, is out of the country and need to return. Will that law hinder them if they're not vaccinated? Would you know?
So it may, but there are exceptions. For instance, I don't know much about psoriasis, but say for instance it's an illness that where the underlying disease or symptoms, it wouldn't be advisable for you to get the vaccine, whether the Moderna or the Pfizer. Then I guess like you could have a doctor know, and then you could get an exemption. But I'll have to look and see because I don't know much about that disease.
All right. Thank
But
you. Oh.
right now, what we're seeing is you coming in, like, well, you say, for instance, you're applying for the benefits. So you're a foreign national, you're trying to get your green card. Then when you're doing that medical, you will have to get it. If you're outside the country, you're going to cancel the process to come in, you will have to get it done. Now, as far as you already being a green card holder, I don't know. Because when I went to Jamaica and I came back, and I was coming back, what they asked me for was a negative result. Even that, because I want to leave before the end of the year, like for a week. And it may be a case where I can still show the negative result, or they're going to ask me for a vaccination card. I don't know. I have to look at it. But if you have some underlying conditions, and I believe that's one of the exemptions, you will be able to submit a waiver. Once your doctor can sign off to say, like, no, getting this vaccine is not advisable for this individual. And that has always been the case across the board. If a doctor can sign off to say that some sort of accommodation is needed for something, then normally an agency will look to that, and whatever the doctor says will stand, unless it's something fake, which definitely I would encourage anyone to get themselves involved in.
Wow. All right. Thank you so much for responding to that. I have a situation where I know this young lady, she got a job and here in Georgia, and she did not take the vaccine, doesn't want to take the vaccine. Of course, you know, some of the companies, organizations, they push it on you. And so they told her that she's got to write a 10-page document, I think, saying why she doesn't think the vaccine is good. And
10 pages?
Something like that. I think it's 10 pages or whatever. Let me text her and find out before I be telling lies. But it's quite a bit. Yeah, she had to do a whole lot. And I said to her, girl, you're American. You need to know your rights. You can't let me come here and know my rights and you don't know yours. You need to know your rights. That is not right. That right there is not right. And she had to take it to her pastor to sign it. And I was saying to her, that's a personal thing right now. They shouldn't, on my job, You can't even ask anybody on the job if they're vaccinated, neither children nor
Okay.
staff. You
I like
can't.
that.
You can't.
Because you have, now it's turning a case where you have the vaccinated against the vaccinated,
Yeah.
unvaccinated. Like, you see people on Facebook debating, calling each other stupid. I don't like stuff like that. And frankly, I don't entertain things like that.
That's right.
It's a personal choice. If you want to get it, get it. If you don't want to get it, that's your business too.
And I think that should be
So,
private business.
yeah, I don't think you should. What shouldn't be private is whether or not you have COVID.
Well, that too. Yeah, not that, but
But some people don't want to talk about it. Some people don't want to say that they have it, but that shouldn't be private, especially if you have people trying to come into your space. But whether or not you're vaccinated, that's your business.
exactly.
All I say is whether or not you're vaccinated, take precaution, because we see both the unvaccinated and the vaccinated like getting sick from this thing. So
Exactly.
take precaution.
Can you take a couple more questions from our listeners?
Yeah.
All right. And so, Girlene, thank you so much. She added to her question saying that she's on trial drugs that has its own side effects, one of which is blood clotting. So just wanted to put
Yeah,
that in.
so that may be a cause for concern where you really want to consult with your doctor if it's something that you're thinking about taking
Right.
to see how that will work. Because like I know my cousin took it yesterday and she was telling me that they asked her a bunch of questions before, and after they asked her, then they suggested that she took I think the Pfizer, because it's a lower dosage versus the Moderna. So even in your case, that's something that if you're considering taking it, you may want to do just to be safe or to help.
And that's the one that they just say that the third shot can be given.
I think, yeah, that's the one where, because that one is weaker, so you have 1-2 shots, and then you have the booster shot.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. And nobody knows if the booster shot is going to be every 6 months or this is the final booster shot. Anyways,
Get a booster.
a booster for the booster. Anyways, Alice Clark says, I too saw persons who take the vaccine having difficulty walking, remembering their age, date of birth, and generally not well, but these are not highlighted. Thank you for your contribution, Alice. Michael Two-Strong says, we are going to have a shortage of nurses, and that's right.
Yeah.
What format your pictures? Okay, and here's a question he's asking. He says, what format your pictures should be in for filing the I-130 form? For the I-130 form, what format should your photographs be in? You have an answer?
If
for
you're
that?
talking about your passport pictures, then I don't know the exact measurement. Just Google USCIS requirement for passport size pictures and ensures that don't wear like a plain white shirt, wear a colored shirt. You shouldn't have anything showing, so the proper your ears has to be showing and stuff like that. If you're talking about photos like you're trying to, if it's a spouse situation and you're trying to prove like a bona fide marriage, in terms of format, I don't quite get the questions. I mean, you just add photos to the package. So be more specific with your question or just send me a private message.
But the thing is, wherever you go, they know the specs for a photograph. I think,
Yeah,
right?
and I always, like, if it's a passport size picture, I tell people to go to Walgreens. Walgreens
Yeah.
or Walmart. It's just
Exactly.
like, it's, I think it has the same requirement like your passport. So just tell them you want 2 passport pictures for USCIS, and they'll know what to do. If it's a regular photo, you could print them on regular paper, or you could print them on photo paper, glossy paper, however you want to do. But one thing is that don't give them an entire photo album. I like that. And sometimes they feel as if people do that because they don't really have any more evidence. They submit a whole bunch of pictures. The truth is sometimes they don't look at it, because I've been to interviews where the officer tell me, oh, we have enough photos. We don't want any more. We're not creating a photo album.
Okay. All
Yep.
right.
Then you can reach out privately and be more specific if that didn't answer your question. Hopefully it did.
All right. Thank you. A comment from Dacia in New York says, yes, in New York City today, there were protests due to unvaccinated status or unvaccinated mandate.
Yeah, moved back. I came and I'm like, where can I go?
I know. Now, here's a question for you, attorney. Ellis says, why after being fully vaccinated, you're still subjected to all precautions like someone who's not vaccinated? I mean, it's not immigration question, so I guess he's just asking, really.
Yeah, well,
I asked
I
that too.
would say because we see where both the vaccinated and the unvaccinated is getting the COVID. So I don't see why. And to me, there is no way to really separate it because people lie. People could be walking out here and saying that they're vaccinated and not wearing a mask, not taking certain precautions, and you don't know. So I think it doesn't hurt to take the same precaution, like 6 feet apart, keep wearing your mask, use your sanitizer. I don't see why it hurts.
Okay. If I had to answer that question for you, Ellis Clark, look up something called CRISPR, CRISPR. It is out there. All right. Okay. As we were saying, we're talking about immigration. Right here we have attorney Georgia Lawrence with us. And we don't have any more questions on this segment. So if we want to move forward, again, if you're just coming in, she was talking about the vaccination requirement, the COVID-19 vaccination requirement for you to benefit here in the U.S. And if you're here, attorney, if you're already here and out of status or maybe you're waiting to adjust, does that affect you as well, or is it only for those who are abroad?
Oh no, you're here. So yeah, that's the big thing. If you're here and you're putting in papers for adjustment, yes. That because say for instance it's a marriage-based case, you're gonna have to submit a medical, and that will be one of the requirements.
So if you're already submitted, say you're in the process and your medicals have been submitted.
If it's before October 1st, that won't apply to you. But if it's after October 1st, yes, it will apply to you.
All right, let me be a little bit more plain because I want to get that right. If you apply for adjustment of status or, well, that's only, right, adjustment or...
Yeah, adjustment.
Or what do you call the other one? Citizenship, right? Or does it affect that too?
See, for citizenship, you don't submit a medical.
Right.
So it's really to become a legal permanent resident. So it would be your adjustment of status.
So, okay.
So you're here, you applied for adjustment of status, you need to submit a medical. That will be a requirement. If you're here, you've already applied and submitted your medical, and it was done before October 1st, then no, it wouldn't apply to you. But anything after that, then yes, you're going to have to either fulfill the requirement or submit a waiver.
So let me ask you this. At the time of submitting your adjustment of status paperwork, do you also submit the medical now? Because when I did mine, it was a process that you submitted everything at one point, and then at another time, I think prior to my time, then you had to wait until they send you information to go to a particular doctor. How do you do it now? When you do an adjustment paperwork, do you send the medical right away with it?
You can do it. You have some people who they try to get the whole thing over with. In most cases, I normally wait until the time of the interview. I'll walk with it because not that, especially if you can send certain complication, because it's valid for 2 years. And then you have that 45 days. So within the marriage and the time you submit, you have 45 days. So if you submit it at that time, it's fine. Normally, if you do it at the same time, there is no issue. I normally wait. And it's something that if we're talking about marriage-based cases or if it's a case where U.S. citizens file for parent, I normally submit it after. But like before, some people are trying to beat the October 1st deadline, they're submitting everything.
That was my question. Okay, so...
And that's fine.
Okay, so submit everything, because if you actually just submit the, what is it, 485, whatever, the adjustment paperwork without the medical, and you do that, say, before the October 1st deadline, that still does not exempt you from the vaccination requirement.
It wouldn't, because the form are gonna change by then. I remember you always have to use the most up-to-date one, unless there's something that say you can keep using the old one.
Yes.
And it's already set in stone that after October 1st, this is what it is. So if you're gonna download the form, or your doctor's gonna get the form to fill it out on your behalf and submit it after October 1st, it's going to have that new requirement.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Makes sense. Okay. All right. So that's where we're at. Marie Beckford, good evening to you. She's sending good evening to us. And Gerline says, thank you, attorney. Much blessings. And Pam is reminding us that we can get those photographs done at the U.S. Post Office as well.
Yes, that's true. Yes.
Yes. Some of them, not all.
They know the requirement.
Yes, and it's not all of them, guys. So just don't get up and walk into a post office. You got to look, because it's only certain locations
And
that will
sometimes
do
you
it.
have to make
Appointment. Thank you for that.
Probably just go to Walgreens.
Exactly, because Walgreens you can just walk in. For the post office,
Yeah.
most times you got to do appointment. All right, thank you. Go ahead, attorney.
So we covered, let me make this smaller. We covered TPS, pathway to citizenship, and the news with that. We spoke about COVID under the new immigration policy. So moving on now to the big thing. The other day we heard in the news all that was happening in Afghanistan, still going on. Very sad. And I just want to read, 'cause I don't want to misquote anybody, what our president said. So we give people an assurance backed by the U.S. government that we would protect people and their families if they helped us in specific ways. And this was Pina, the Director of Immigration Policy. If we don't follow through with that commitment, we're going to see both short and long-term national security issues. That's the...
Right.
I follow a lot of international news, and I kind of understand like the interplay with different countries. And a lot of people that ask me, why is it that we're so quick to help people from Afghanistan? What's going on with that? And we try to explain that when you have certain agreements in place, you have to follow through with your end of the bargain. It's almost like a tit for tat. So that's like, because some people are saying now, look at the conditions in Haiti or other countries that's predominantly black. Why isn't it the same thing? So they're looking at it as being racist, which if you look into certain things deep in us, you realize that a lot of times people may not have like discriminatory intent, but there's a discriminatory impact.
Right now.
Yeah, and I don't want to get too deep into that, but there are things for you to look at. But we saw what was going on in the news. So the White House asked Congress to pass law providing green cards for tens of thousands of Afghanistan. And the Biden administration evacuated from Kabul and is bringing in the U.S. on temporary humanitarian grounds. So, you know, humanitarian benefits and seeing the condition with what's going on. I don't oppose them doing it. I agree with helping anyone. Like, if I didn't have a baby and was so busy, I would have been out there helping even more. And these are kind because sometimes these people, they're leaving homes. They don't even have their passport. They can't get anything. It's just an in and out situation. Their lives are in danger. You have mothers, babies involved. So these are things that we really want to take into consideration. So I don't oppose it. I'm just saying it should be the same way across the board. I don't care whichever country you come from, it should be the same way across the board. So the proposal that they had in place was to include a funding request where lawmakers would provide 6.4 billion to the Afghan refugee resettlement effort, and that money would fund operations on military bases where the Afghans were being housed and processed, as well as resettlement benefits for Afghans once they arrive in the United States, and also speed up the process with their immigration paperwork, which is essential. That's essential because of the backlog that we see in our system. Immigration system is one of the worst in terms of being backlogged. So that should be the first thing that they look at. And a lot of people, they're saying they're requesting some sort of legal fix or something more permanent. So that they're allowing now is that after a year, they can apply for a green card, which would provide like something more temporary. So that kind of stuff is still in work. Now people compare that situation with what's going on with the Haitian. The other day I woke up and I saw, you probably saw the picture circulating on social media with border officials riding on the horses and whipping the Haitians that were under the bridge.
Lord, I
And
didn't
that
see
was, you didn't see it?
it. No, I didn't. You said it was on social media?
It was all over social
That's
media.
why I haven't been on social media since June. I went
Yeah,
on
it
in
was
January, then
all
in June.
over social media. It was
Yeah. I haven't
like
seen it.
stuff like that. It's just devastating to see people in that kind of condition. I saw one where this man was under the bridge walking across the river, and you saw the little baby on his head. You saw a lady, she was holding a basket, and they were trying to cross. So, but now, it's a case, I checked the report today, and they don't have any under the bridge now, so that's kind of better. But let me read this for you. Human beings, fathers and mothers who have children are always going to flee poverty and conflict. Have to urge the international community to move fast to improve living conditions in countries that refugees are leaving for political or economic reasons. There are no longer any Haitian migrants in the camp under the Del Rio International Bridge in Texas. The camp grew to hold 15,000 people at one point, with a totality of nearly 30,000 migrants passing through. And this has been since September 9th.
Wow.
So this definitely was an unprecedented number. And sadly, the United States have been put in, which this is big in the news too, and we're going to get to asylum. So if people have questions on that, they may have some sort of clarity. But the United States have been putting Haitians on expulsion flights since Sunday. If you've been following the news, then you'll see that. So the Biden administration is enforcing what we call the Trump era health order, expelling migrants without giving them a chance to seek asylum, because the asylum law states that once you come to the border and you're seeking some sort of protection, the United States, they're supposed to allow you to go through the process where you're interviewed by an officer, and then they can determine whether or not you would qualify for asylum before making the recommendation for you to be sent back to your country, or if you were in a host country. That's law. But when Mr. Trump was in power, they had a policy in place where you could be turned around, and that's the same thing that they're using. So there is a huge debate right now as to whether or not that's even legal. And from a legal mind frame, I'm going to tell you no. If there are policies in place, then you should go through that policy. And personally, on a humanitarian ground policy standpoint, I don't agree with it. Now, when you look into what's going on, and this is why you see I'm so careful when I talk on air with even certain things that the administration is considering. Like the other day, a lot of people would text me or they'd reach out, How much is it for what the Biden is putting in place to help us? I need to start saving up my money. How much will your legal fees be? And I tell them $0. There is nothing in place. So you shouldn't have any attorney or anyone else who feel as if they know immigration law, they're practicing charging people or collecting money for forms and fees, because we don't have that information. And see, this was the same misinformation that caused a lot of Haitians to leave where they were, because they were in South America, Mexico at this time, to come to the border. Because what they heard was that, what we're hearing is that most of them heard about TPS, where someone said, hey, you can go temporary protected status to get your green card. And some of them had their life savings, and they spent all that money for someone to get them to the border, only to be turned back because they got false information. And that's why it's so important for you to be careful who you're listening to and what you're reading, especially when it's on social media. So, right now, it's called Title 42. In the U.S. has flown, I would say, like 2,000 migrants on 17 flights back to Haiti, and then around 8,000 agreed that they wanted to go back to Mexico instead. And the massive migrant camp has put a spotlight on Biden's administration and their border policies. So more and more people are seeing what's going on, and they're calling for the administration to put something in place that's permanent to take care of people, because I don't know, you haven't seen it, but when I saw the border patrol agents on their horses, and they were chasing the Haitians and whipping them, that did something to me. It really did something to me, and that's why I do what I do, to be honest, because somebody needs to stand up for people when they're in positions like this, their voices, because being from Jamaica, I understand what it's like not wanting to go to another country, not because of the country or because you just want to leave your family and friends, but just to seek out a better life for yourself and your family. So to see this happening, and I ask people this every day, and I keep asking it, do you really think somebody just want to get up, leave their homeland and leave their family behind? That's not the case. So we definitely have to put certain things in place to see how best we can address these humanitarian concerns. Because at the end of the day, we're not dealing with pigs and goats.
No,
we're dealing with people. We're dealing with babies, pregnant women. We're dealing with old people. And it's heartbreaking to see it. It is.
And this beating took place here in America. I mean, I'm asking because I didn't see it here at the.
Let me pull this up and see if you can.
That's so strange. That's, that is just so wrong. I mean, I'm just one person talking here, but when you think about Haiti, they have a piece of land. I don't remember if it's, what is it called? Labadie? You heard of Labadie or whatever, however it's pronounced, Labadee. And when you think about it, a beautiful piece of land, and it's owned. Americans get to go there and frolic and enjoy the people's land.
Yeah.
And this is how they treat them when they come here seeking a better life.
I agree with the situation that there's a process, which I'm going to talk about asylum, that you have to go through. But the way it was done, considering the misinformation and what's going on there, the president being assassinated, the earthquake, that right now it's one of the poorest countries.
It is. They say it is the poorest country.
It's sad. It's very sad. But here, look, let me show you how I get
and piece of their island, I mean, you got our cruise ships that go there every week, and they're enjoying it. Ooh.
You
okay,
see that?
yes. I'm seeing. Oh, wow. Wow.
See that?
Yes, I didn't even see that.
Yeah. You could just Google it, and
That is
like
sad.
they were literally
That's sad.
trying to make it run, like literally chasing people. Like you remember the movie
Wow.
Django?
Wow, that looks like something country western movie.
Yeah.
Like a western. Oh man.
Yeah, you see stuff like this when you're watching movies about slavery. This was the one that really touched me, where you had the baby in the water.
Wow.
Trying to get it bigger.
Oh wow. Thank you so much guys for putting your questions in. Attorney will address them before she leaves tonight. Whoa.
Yeah, so it's just really sad. You take a look at it. So there was a big, still is, out rage with what's going on. So it's just like, but there needs to be like some sort of policy or something in place. We cannot keep doing this. We have to look and realize that we're still dealing with human beings. But again, the misinformation comes from people not being properly informed and people walking around circulating lies. So because you have, I listened to the interview with one, he didn't even know English, where he said all the money he saved, he gave it to someone because they're like, we're going to get you to the border. You take this into the U.S. and they're going to give you protection and you can go. That's what they're doing for all the Haitians now. And they packed the bags, family, and they got here and then.
All the money.
But the thing is, so let's talk about asylum because we're almost 5 minutes late.
All right, and I got
So,
a couple questions when you're ready. Got a
Okay.
couple questions from your listeners. Go ahead.
All right, so with asylum, you basically have two basic requirements, and I'm going to try to make this quick.
No problem.
First, they must show that they fear persecution in their home country. So that's the first requirement. You have to show that you fear persecution in your home country. And second, you have to prove that you would be prosecuted based on one of the following: race, religion, nationality, political opinion, or particular social group. Now, a lot of times people get denied for asylum because they cannot point to whatever it is that they're saying that they're being prosecuted on in one of these groups. No, the catch-all provision is really the particular social group. Like I remember when I was working in the clinic, we had a case where the guy in Jamaica, they call him Dundu, is albino. I guess that's a term.
Yes.
So in this country, I think it was Liberia, I believe, they look, I hope I'm saying it's the right country, if not, and somebody here who knows better correct me, but a particular African country, and they look at you as a curse, so they will kill you if you come out that way. And for that, we weren't able to put him under race, religion, nationality, political opinion, so we had to put him under particular social group. It's the same thing with your sexual orientation. Like right now, that's not one of the 5 protected class, like we call it in legal terms. So you can fall under particular social groups. Like you have a lot of people in, for instance, country like Jamaica, who they engage in same-sex relationship. If you're seeking asylum, that's the category that they would fall in.
Okay.
So there are 2 paths to claim asylum in the U.S. You have the affirmative asylum process, and this is for individuals who are already in removal proceedings. So you're in removal and say, hey, I can't go home because of this. And then you have the defensive asylum process. Affirmative, you're not in removal. Defensive, you're in removal. So in removal, you need a defense asylum. And removal proceedings, that's when you're removed or deported from the U.S. We always joke and call it removee. But yes, so deportee or you're removed from the U.S. So for affirmative asylum, this is you're not in removal proceedings and they don't have to grant it. And if you get placed in detention, you can also apply for defensive asylum. And you normally have different defenses as to why they shouldn't remove you. For instance, you have like cancellation of removal. If you have like qualifying U.S. citizen or spouse or something like that, we can discuss it later. So asylum is just one of the defense, and you have time frames in which you need to do it. See, a lot of times people just fill out the paperwork for this. This is one of the areas where I would say, like, you definitely need an attorney. You definitely need an attorney if that's something you're considering or you know someone who this may benefit, because they're careful wording as it relates to certain things. But I know most of the Haitians that came here, they claim asylum, but you cannot just say, oh, I want asylum because my country is poor and I can't go back. Economic hardship is not a protected ground, unfortunately. It's not. So a lot of time people ask, like, why Jamaicans don't come here and claim asylum based on this? Look how poor the country is, look what's going on. It's not. It has to be race, religion, nationality, political opinion, or a particular social group. And again, if you need more information on this, reach out. I'm right at my time, so I'm gonna address all the questions that we have.
A couple
Hopefully we can
questions.
get to them.
And you're right, because I know somebody from Jamaica who did get political asylum here. That person is from Jamaica. All right, so you got, I think, 3 questions, so let me go quickly. How can you get the interview done here in the U.S. instead of Barbados? I guess that's the immigrant interview coming to
Okay, so it depends. Since I'm going to assume you're talking about
the person is in Barbados. I don't know where the person is. That's all the questions.
instead of in Barbados, the interview done. So that may be,
Where is the person though?
yeah. So if you're in, you have to give us some more information. If you're in Barbados and it's a case where you want to come in and do some sort of interview, it sounds like there may be an intent. Sounds like there may be an intent issue. For instance, if you're trying to come in for a visa where you're not supposed to have dual intent, you have to do it in your home country. For instance, if it's a visitor's visa. If you're talking about a case where it's an interview where you are here, you're probably on a visitor's visas or something, you got married and you want to know if you can adjust, or you have to do consular process and go back home. It depends. So send me some more, or send your info. We can talk some more, and I'll get more information, and I'll be better able to answer that question. But that's kind of broad. I don't know where you at. I don't know what the situation is.
All right, because just looking at that too, I was wondering, where is the person? If they're in Barbados, could they really come here to do an interview, to come here? Or if they're here, are they going to be sent home to It's just kind of vague. So please respond quickly, because attorney has to go.
You can also send me a message and we can talk.
Yes, and I just reposted it on Facebook, guys. You know how to contact her. I just reposted what she had there. Now, the second one is, this is a very important question. My son that I filed for is waiting for a visa number. Everything is paid for, but he did not do his medical yet. They told me to wait until the visa office in Jamaica is opened. I am waiting so long. Oh my God, too long.
Yeah, I completely understand. I get it every day. Now, when I check, I believe they're at 2004. Well, it depends on the category, but you said son. So, I have to check by the visa bulletin to tell you exactly where they're at in terms of processing right now. But yes, it's unfortunately, you are not the only person. I have a lot of clients sit waiting. I reach out, call, message. So you just have to check the visa bulletin, see where they're at. But I would say for the medical, you can do it close to the interview, because you don't just want to do it and then it's there sitting and waiting. But if there is a need, you can also try to do an expedited request, but there is no guarantee that this will be granted. In our office, what we do is I listen to the clients, I hear what they have to say, and then depending on the facts of the case, I say, okay, I'm sure you can get an expedited request, or I'll tell you that, hey, you have a 50-50 chance. If you want to try, it's on you. But in some cases, we will grant them. In others, it's just a no. You have to sit and wait like everybody else. But I understand the frustration. I understand the frustration.
And our son is going to get caught now with the whole vaccination requirement for the benefit.
Most likely, yes.
No way around it, unless there's a qualified exemption.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thank you so much for that. And again, that depends on what category the son is in, whether he's married or unmarried and all that too, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you can talk to attorney. She knows it, and she'll give you the information. All right, Miss. Let me see, who was that? Miss Doreen. All right. So our next question, I think this is the last one, second to last. Why is hold on. Wait, somebody says, what is the attorney's number and office location? Rupert Palmer. All right, I put that in for you. Hang on one second there, attorney. Let me see. This person says, why is the immigration turning back persons who haven't traveled for 2 years and cancel their visa? So my understanding is that people who have not traveled in 2 years, U.S. immigration is turning them back, canceling their visas and turning them back.
See, you coming in the U.S., as we said this before, it's not a right, it's a privilege. So they're within their discretion to turn you back if they want to turn you back. A lot of times when this happens, there's some sort of flag in the system. So sometimes you really have to question like your travel history, what you've been doing, and the different circumstances. Like sometimes, say for instance, I have people who come to me and they say, the last time I was here, I stayed 5 months and then I went home. Next time I came back, I stayed 6 months, I went home. Then I came back, I stayed 4 months. That's giving them something to say, hey, this person is in the U.S. half the time out of the year. They may be working. So the next time you try, they may say, no, you can only spend 2 weeks and go home, or no, you can't take this trip, or no, we're going to cancel your visa. Or it may be a case where a female, she comes, she has a baby, she go back to Barbados, then next 2 years, she's here again with a baby, back to Barbados. The intent, you're trying to have babies in the U.S. You're trying to use the system. So there are a lot of things to look at. So again, I'll have to talk to you and kind of see what your travel history is like or what's going on. But to give you a blanket answer, why? Because there's nothing in place to say that if you haven't traveled 2 years, they're taking away your visa. No.
And you're so right, it's a privilege, it's not a right. I have that question about Barbados. I'm going to tell you what that person says, and then we can close out for you to go. But for me, too, it depends on the side that the immigration officer wakes up on. Because I remember, and it depends on if his wife gave him anything, yes or no. If we're not kind to these men, they go into the office and they're rude to other people. So wives, let's help the situation, okay? Because I was traveling with my nephew from Jamaica. Coming up, we cleared in Fort Lauderdale. We cleared immigration in Fort Lauderdale because we were connecting on a flight to Louisiana at that time. I was in Louisiana. And he came up, when was that? We came up in the early part of the year. Now, my son was graduating. My son is older than my nephew, all right, by 5 months. So my son, in Jamaica, I graduated at age 16, all right? Here in America, you graduate at 18, 19, and 20. So my son was graduating that May, and of course, he would have been 18 by then. So my nephew is not 18 yet. He's coming up with me. The immigration officer asked, what's his reason for being here? And I told him he's just going to spend some time with me, and I want him to attend, his cousin's graduation, which is my son. The immigration officer looked at both of us and said, so why are you not in school? So both of us answered at the same time. He said, I graduated, and I said, he's already graduated. The man put his pen down and looked at us like, do you think I'm an idiot? Do you think I was born last night? And he didn't say those words, but the way he started to talk to us, you would think that we were some senseless creatures. Because he wanted to say, this boy isn't even 18 years old. And you think you can come with a mouth filled with lie to tell me that he's, And the way he was talking, I said to him, I turned to him, I said, I went to high school in Jamaica and I graduated at age 16. We don't keep children long in school in Jamaica. And he really got upset. Whatever got him so upset, he stopped my nephew's passport, allow him to come into America, and that was the last time my nephew was able to get on a plane to come to America. You see, when he got back to Jamaica and went back to the embassy, whatever that guy put in there, they blocked him from coming back to America.
Yeah, so
okay? And we never told any lies. We never did anything that was wrong. But they are so uneducated in this country. God help me. Go ahead, attorney. It's your program.
Yeah, but that's why it's good for you to be informed. And I mean, you're not going to know everything, but to understand like different places and so forth. Because yeah, you're right. You can leave school at 16 or 17. We're here. It may be longer. They start school at 4 or 5. We start school at 2, 3. So
Exactly.
it's different. But I do, because I also do federal employment. So I work with a lot of DHS officers as well.
Mm-hmm.
And they have certain trainings in place. So sometimes you have like the class, probably GS12, GS13. They'll go to different countries and they'll learn. And then they'll come back and it's their job to really educate the staff as well as being exposed.
Yeah.
So in this case, I mean, you're right. Maybe he woke up on the wrong side, so he just didn't believe it.
And the funny thing, to make matters worse, my nephew is a customs officer in Jamaica. He works for the government. He's a customs officer. This boy has never been involved in anything bad. But just because this guy thought that we were lying, that he was here probably trying to evade school, whatever he did, he blacklisted my nephew.
Yeah.
And they don't want to give him a visa. He's been back up there. And as I say, he's a working customs officer in Montego Bay.
Yeah.
He's able to go on the plane. He's able to tell you that he's not allowing you in the country, but he's not able to get on that plane to come back into America, all because of what some unlearned person did.
Yeah.
It is so bad. It is really sad.
Yeah.
All right.
I heard of, I had one the other day where the lady, she went to the embassy with her son. And, because, the officer, he can either stamp approve or deny. Mm-hmm. And he took the mom's visa and accidentally canceled her visa. And because of that, he couldn't issue the son a visa. And you would think like, okay, fix your error.
Right.
It is what it is. We're going to have to give your mom her visa back. It was an accident. I made a wrong stamp.
Right.
Stuff like that. Again, it's a privilege. It's not an entitlement. So.
Oh boy, I wish we had those kind of privileges in our country for our beach or sand or sun. Yeah. Anyways, before I go, finally, the person who asked about the interview for Barbados, the clarification is the persons are in the USA, or maybe the person is in the USA, and it is for the interview visa for green card. So they're going for the green card interview, and it's already scheduled for interview in Barbados, but the person is here. I didn't know they still do that.
No, most likely what happened is that person did the application, but the consular processing, or the person who is the petitioner is a green card holder and not a U.S. citizen. So you can message me offline and we'll talk some more. But we address this like I believe in our first or second show. There's a difference between adjustment of status and consular processing. So you having to go out of the country, maybe you just qualify under that consular processing part, or that was selected on the application. So talk to me offline and we could get some clarity on that.
All right. Thank you so much, attorney. And let me just say this quickly. Tamara Jackson is here and she put your number in. I think that's your friend, right, Tamara?
Yes, that's actually, she works with the firm.
She works with, okay. So she put the number in. So guys, it's actually correct. Thank you, Tamara. 813-900-0845 is attorney's number. Again, that's 813-900-0845. And you can always email her at georgialaw21@gmail.com. All right? Thank you so much, attorney. Anything else you want to say before you go?
Yes. So this Saturday, the 2nd of October, if you're going to be in Georgia or near Georgia, we're having a art fest, so it's gonna be me alongside Rachel Jones, Lady Jones. She's from Guyana. We're putting on an art fest where we're showcasing different talents and stuff. So I'm gonna have a booth there, and I'm gonna make myself available to answer questions. So if you're in Georgia, reach out to me and I'll give you the address. You can come on over, enjoy fun, food, fellowship. If you have an immigration question, we can talk. It's not going to be an hour consultation.
That's right now.
We're going to have fun too. But we can talk about certain things. So if you're in Georgia, message me too. And that's something that I can link you up with and we can talk off air. But as always, I'm happy to serve. I'm here for the people. If I don't know something, we can figure it out together. And Dr. Monica, you know, I always appreciate you. And don't keep me off my show this long again.
I won't. Not anymore.
All right.
Thank you so much. That's a beautiful attorney, Georgia Lawrence, and you have her information. Reach out to her. Thank you so much. You're valuable to our community. Take care. Bye-bye. I'm telling you, she is so valuable to our community, guys. She is. Make sure that you use the opportunity. There are some attorneys that don't extend themselves like she's doing. So please, please make sure. She will give you the information if you are in Georgia. She says she's going to have a booth there to answer your questions. So make use of that opportunity. All right. Again, you can email her at georgialaw21@gmail.com. I want you to visit her website, though. It's www.georgialawrence.com. Visit her website. If you're on Facebook, you can link up with her at Georgia Lawrence LLC. Or if you're on Instagram, you got to use attorney Georgia Lawrence. All right. So it just depends on what platform you are. It's a little bit different. There's a variation. So make sure that you connect with her. And again, her number is 813-900-0845. Thanks again, Tamara. You guys make a great team. And I'm so glad that she was able to be in this evening. The program is called The Law and You. Yes, indeed, we did take a break for a while because I needed a break. And so we are back. You find her here second and fourth Mondays of each month. And she helps to keep us informed as immigration is concerned. I'm making my way on out of here tonight, guys. I want to say thank you so much for being here with us. All right, don't you dare go and sit down right now. Make sure that you call somebody, share the information, share the video with them. All right, so that they too can be informed. Thank you, Pastor Leah. Thank you, Victorine George, Pam Nelson. You're interested? Reach out to her. Only God can help us right here, right now. You heard what she said about the whole vaccination thingy? Lord have mercy. I know it's not the mark of the beast. And let me tell you why I know it's not the mark of the beast. You see, when it's time for the mark of the beast, you will be informed. And then after you have the information, then you will have to make up your mind whether to take it, yes or no. So you're going to know that if you take this, then you have no lot or part with God. It's not going to come in a cloud. And when you take it, then you're going to hear afterwards. And then you have no recourse. That's not how God works, all right? So I know that this vaccination is not the mark of the beast, at least not the way it is right now, because there are tons of Christians who have already taken it. So I know it is not. I'm not here to tell you to go and take it or not to take it. Again, that's a personal decision, all right? Karen Ennis to take us outside the program this evening. 18 minutes after the 8 o'clock hour. What a wonderful Monday it's been. Jam into this one right here. God is by our side.
God is by
Just want you to know that we appreciate your questions and your involvement this evening. All right. Thank you so much, Facebook. Sam, thank you. I truly believe that we can make it because He is indeed by our side. Lots of love to you, Pam. 9 more minutes to go inside the program, taking you down to the bottom of the hour. If you're riding home with me this evening, good evening to you. Oh, I hear Pastor Leah says, oh, thanks for this great info. Yes, I hope that somebody was able to garner something. Marvelous Mervyn, good evening to you. The track that I'm playing is called God is by Our Side, and the artist is Karen Ennis. All right, Karen Ennis, God is by Your Side. Let me kick it back a little bit just for you, Marvelous. Again, you can reach out to attorney at 813-9... Wait a minute, let me get the right number. It is 813-900-0845. Too far.
Right by
Sending a shout out to Doreen Gabidon. Are you from Jamaica, Doreen? He said, rock that music, sis. He promises never to leave us. Hear my pastor saying, amen, teach doc. Not true? That's right, that's right. There's no need for us to panic. It's not the mark of the beast, not just yet. What kind of God would we serve, huh? Go back to the word, man. Go back and read the scripture. We will all know when it is the mark of the beast. And having that knowledge, we will decide whether or not we're going to take it. All right? Don't be flustered by all of this. It's not the mark of the beast. But it is a personal decision. This is Norris Weir, the late great Norris Weir. Don't panic. You hear me? Ow!
Brother, don't panic when you're on the Titanic. Seem like you're sinking, you're going down. Sister, live up now and don't you give up now. Pick yourself from off the ground. When you're in torment, touch the hem of his garment and feel your healing coming through. You are next in line to see what God can do. Had it not been for the Lord, butt cover. Stand firm on the liberty that He has set you free. Our station up play them big song there. The Caribbean Gospel Radio. We do. The Monica DJ. Truly. Brother, don't panic when you're on the Titanic. Seem like you're sinking, you're going down. Sister, live up now and don't you give up now. Pick yourself from off the ground. When you're in torment, touch the hem of his garment and feel your healing coming through. You are next in line to see what God can do. Had it not been for the Lord, I know I would have died when the enemy like a flood came upon me. But Daniel's God was on my side and He gave me the victory. Sacrifice the holy lamb to set me free. Oh Lord, my brother, don't panic when you're on the Titanic. Seem like you're sinking, you're going down. Sister, live up now and don't you give up now. Pick yourself from off the ground. And when you're in torment, touch the hem of his garment.
Sending lots of love out to my sister Sandra Rush in Jamaica. How you do, Sandra? How Jamaica treating you, girl?
When you see me crying, it could be tears of joy. My tears are not for you to understand. Don't envy me for where I am, cause you don't know where I've been, or the help I got from God's unchanging hand. Oh Lord, so my brother, don't panic when you're on the Titanic. Seems like you're sinking, you're going down. Sister, live up now and don't you give up now. Pick yourself from off the ground. And when you're in torment, touch the hem of his garment and feel your healing coming through. You are next in line to see what God can do. Oh, security! Oh, station up near them big song.
Dr. Monica, Monica, ooh, there again. She's stuck to radio, man.
Had it not been for the Lord, I know I would have died when the enemy like a flood came upon me. Oh, but Daniel's God was on my side and He gave me the victory.
Sending some love out to my Haitian brothers and sisters. Nobody should have to go through what they've been through. Just know that you have those who are praying for you and those who love you. If you're Haitian listening in this evening, just know we love you. Oh. There are days, my brothers and sisters, I know you feel like this, right? Dedicated to all my Haitian family right now. Listen. One of these fine days, it will be over indeed. My penultimate, alright? This is what we're hoping for. Lord, help us. This is what I want for Haiti, man. Come on. Woo!
You know the Lord, He is good and everyone the Scotch bonnet sauce. All of my band-aids, all of my band-aids, all of my band-aids are in my bag. All of my band-aids, all of my band-aids, all of my band-aids are in my bag. You know the Lord cheers good and everyone me off, and it no matter where in my line you spot. Because the last shall be the first, and the first must be the last. But as long as this life shall last, brother, sister, please hold fast. In a Jesus, please stand fast. Let them stay there and pass them remarks. He has changed your DNA and give you a skin graft. He's already released the bank job and the amount of money for the check is vast. Let's see a show of them keep on pass and the red that shine bright. We need a sunglass. Let them stay there and wait for the pass. Next time they meet you a paragraph, and then gonna be from a ghost. All of my band-aids, you will have me band-aids. All of my band-aids are in my bag. All of my band-aids, all of me band-aids, all of my band-aids are in my bag. You know the Lord is good and everyone me off, and it no matter where in the line is fast. Because the last shall be the first, and the first must be the last. My days of poverty, all in the past. My days of lack, that's in the past. My days of sadness, in the past. My days of sickness, in the past. Days of loneliness, in the past. Days of frustration, in the past. Of tribulation, in the days of demarcation, in the past. You say they all of my band-aids. All of my band-aids, all of my band-aids.
The name is King Arthur. All of my bad days in my past, man. My Haitian family, so over.
Band-aids are in my bag. You know the Lord cheers good and everyone me off, and it no matter where
Judy Nation, good evening to you, girl.
the last shall be the first, and the first must be the last.
Woo! That's right. That's what I say too. The last shall be the first shall or will be the last. Ending with this one out here tonight. It is well. Whatever or however the tide turns, we gotta make our own call in an election sure. At the end of the day, is it well with your soul? Brother Paul, Marlon Anderson. I want to say thank you so much to those who are on TuneIn Radio, Radio Garden, Nobex Radio, Online Radio Box, YouTube fam, Facebook fam, www.CaribbeanGospelRadioFM.com if that's where you are listening in. Just know that we love you, we appreciate you. And Dr. Monica saying thanks again. And thanks to our attorney, Georgia Lawrence, for doing what she does for our community, man. Make sure you support her, all right?
My
As I leave you tonight, I hope that is your testimony. It is well. I'm Dr. Monica saying thank you for spending your evening with me. Don't forget that tomorrow we continue our Bible studies. We're actually looking at the pharaohs. The pharaohs, the gods, and the plagues of Egypt. If you want to go on out and get your copy. It is authored by me, yours truly. You can get your copy on Amazon, or you can get it at www.caribbeangospelradiofm.com, where I can go ahead and send you an autographed copy, all right? Sleep well, drive well, eat well, work well, whatever you're doing. Until we meet again. Catch up with you tomorrow, God's willing. Good night. Love you lots. Bye-bye.
From the USA to Europe and into the Caribbean, all the world over, this is Caribbean Gospel Radio FM, keeping you inspired and